Sawadee Kap. All right, today we're talking about A is for automation and outsourcing life. The complicated art of simplicity. Common complaints. My assistant is an idiot. It took him 23 hours to book an interview. This was the first complaint I had for sure. 23 hours. I was heated up for a shouting match. My original email to this first assistant seemed clear enough. Dear Abdul, here are the first tasks due at the end of next Tuesday. Please call or email with any questions. Number 1, go to this article, http www.msnbc.msm.com, ID, blah, 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 site Newsweek. Get the phone, email, website contacts for Carol Milligan and Mark and Julie Szekely. Also find the same info for Rob Long here, and he gives another web address. Schedule 30-minute interviews for Carol, Mark, Julie, and Rob using myevents.com, blah, 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 to book them in my calendar for next week, anytime between 9 to 9 Eastern Time. Find the name, email, and phone. Phone is the least important, of workers in the U.S. who have negotiated remote work agreements, telecommuting, despite resistant bosses. Those who have traveled outside the U.S. are ideal. Other keywords could include teleworking and telecommuting. The important factor is that they negotiated with difficult bosses. Please send me links to their profiles or write a paragraph describing why they fit the profile above. Look forward to seeing what you can do. Please email if you don't understand or have questions. Best, Tim. Right away, before we get into what happened from that, I would say the VA was unable to do it because while Tim was perfectly capable of, and while you or I might or might not have been personally capable of carrying out those instructions, I don't think he broke it down step by step enough to the VA. And being it was the first time he was trying them, I think he delegated too much. He trusted them too much to kind of run with it and get the idea. He treated them like an employee instead of a VA, in my opinion. So we're not specific enough, not detailed enough, giving them too much leeway. Now down the road, obviously that's like he said, you want to get yourself out of the loop as much as possible. But if it's a first task, you're giving a new VA too much to do, too complicated, too big a scope, too much leeway. I understood what he wanted, but I seriously doubt the VA did. The truth is, I was at fault. This is not a good debut demand, and I made fatal mistakes even before composing it. If you are an effective person but unaccustomed to issuing commands, assume that most problems at the outset are your fault. It is tempting to immediately point the finger at someone else and huff and puff, but most beginner bosses repeat the same mistakes I made. Number 1, I accepted the first person the firm provided, made no special requests at the outset. He just took what they gave him. Give me a VA, any VA. Request someone who has excellent English and indicate the phone calls will be required, even if not. Be fast to request a replacement if there are repeated communication issues. Yeah, it's with dating too, right? Overseas. It's huge. It's very important that they speak English. Very important. I learned how important last year. This new relationship I'm in is a godsend because she speaks very good English. It helps. It really, really helps. I gave imprecise directions. I asked him to schedule interviews but didn't indicate that it was for an article. He assumed, based on the work with previous clients, I wanted to hire someone, and he misspent time compiling spreadsheets and combing online job sites for additional information I didn't need. So he wasn't specific enough, right? He didn't say, this is for me to interview them. He just said, hey, get me the contact info for these people, and not telling the guy why. Not knowing why, he spent a lot of time on wasted things, effort that it didn't matter. Sentences should have one possible interpretation, right? Like you're talking to a second grader or a fifth grader, you really have to dumb it down to make sure everybody's on the same page, especially in the beginning. Second grade, there you go, nailed it. And he, sentences should have one possible interpretation and be suitable for a second grade reading level. There you go, fifth grade, second grade, yeah. This goes for native speakers as well and will make requests clearer. $10 words disguise imprecision. If you have to use a big word, you're not explaining it right. Note that I asked him to respond if he didn't understand or had questions. This is the wrong approach. Ask foreign VAs to rephrase tasks to confirm understanding before getting started. Right? Read it back to me. Tell me what your understanding of the task is. Easy. See, it's an easy solution for it. It really is. You just got to know it. You got to, like he said, you have to boss properly, right? 3, I gave him a license to waste time. This brings us again to damage control. Request a status update after a few hours of work on a task to ensure the task is both understood and achievable. Some tasks are, after initial attempts, impossible. Number 4, I set the deadline a week in advance. Use Parkinson's law and assign tasks that are to be completed within no more than 72 hours. I've had the best luck with 48 and 24 hours. This is another compelling reason to use a small group, 3 or more, rather than a single individual who can become overtaxed with last-minute requests from multiple clients. Using short deadlines does not mean avoiding larger tasks, e.g. a business plan, but rather breaking them into smaller milestones, small digestible pieces that can be completed in shorter time frames. Outline, competitive research summaries, chapters, etc. Number 5, I gave him too many tasks, right, I agree, and didn't set an order of importance, didn't prioritize, right. I advise sending one task at a time whenever possible, and no more than 2. If you want to cause your computer to hang or crash, open 20 windows and applications at the same time. If you want to do the same to your assistant, assign him or her a dozen tasks without prioritizing them. Recall our mantra, eliminate before you delegate, right? So you complained throughout your life about shitty bosses that you had, and then you get a VA and you do the same thing to them that the shitty bosses did to you, right? You're going to get the same results that you gave the shitty boss, right? Nothing, or bad work. What does a good VA task email look like? The following example was recently sent to an Indian VA whose results have been nothing short of spectacular. Dear Saumaya, thank you. I would like to start with the following task. I need to find the names and emails of editors of men's magazines in the U.S. For example, Maxim, Stuff, GQ, Esquire, Blender, etc., who also have written books. An example of such a person would be A.J. Jacobs, who is editor-at-large of Esquire. I already have his information and need more like him. Can you do this? If not, please advise. Please reply and confirm what you will plan to do to complete this task. Simple enough. One extra sentence already makes this a much better request than the one we read 5 minutes ago. Deadline. Since I'm in a rush, get started after your next email and stop at 3 hours and tell me what results you have. Please begin this task now if possible. The deadline for these 3 hours and reported results is the end of the day, Eastern Time, Monday. Thank you for your fastest reply, Tim. Well thought out, concise, narrow, focused, specific, right? You can see how much better that second email was. He got better at managing VAs over time. Short, sweet, and to the point. Clear writing and therefore clear commands come from clear thinking. Think simple. I like it. In the next several chapters, the communication skills you develop with our virtual assistant experiment will be applied to a much larger and obscenely profitable playing field, automation. The extent to which you will outsource next makes delegation look like finger painting. In the world of automation, not all business models are created equal. How do you assemble a business and coordinate all its parts without lifting a finger? How do you automate cash deposits in your bank account while avoiding the most common problems? It begins with understanding the options, the art of dodging information flow, and what we will call muses. The next chapter is a blueprint for the first step, a product. Where are we at? 9:34, so I'll stop there. This is going to be great. Like I said before, when he talked about generating 5 or 10K a month passive income, when I had 7 Airbnbs when I left America, and then I wound up selling those in my battle to keep the restaurant open last year. So now I have some other sources of income. But could I use more? Sure. Who the hell couldn't use more income? So I'm very excited to see the next chapter, and I had actually made a commitment. Look at that hairdo, huh? Is that crazy or what? Yeah, baby. Woohoo! Fucking porcupine. Yeah, my favorite job. I bought a BMW. I told you the other day, 318i. Haven't done a video on it. I will. I got it back from the shop. I just been lazy. I haven't done a video. But doing that reminded me of an old joke. What's the difference between a BMW and a porcupine? On the porcupine, the pricks are on the outside. Right? Right? Yeah. Okay. You get it. Har har har. Fat guy in a BMW. We did a video on that already. And here I am again, riding a BMW. It's a nice little car. It's okay. It's older, so it has some annoying shit, like a fucking cassette player radio. So I got online and ordered, or first I went to a radio shop because I'm lazy, and I said how much to put, double din, navigation, backup camera, blah, blah. 45,000 baht. Squeeze me? $1,500 fucking dollars for a radio? Are you serious? So obviously that was the wrong place. This is Thailand. This is not America. It's Kenwood, top of the line. So what? Fuck. You can get a double din with nav and all that shit for $200. So I'm not spending $1,500 for a radio. So I got online, Lazada, right? Amazon for you guys, same thing, and ordered the head unit, ordered the faceplate. Ordered the speakers. The fucking BMW's got 3 speakers in the front door. 1.5-inch tweeter, 2.5-inch mid-range, and a 5.25-inch woofer. Then another 2.5 in the back door, and then 2 6.5s in the rear deck. So I ordered all the new speakers. I ordered the double din, nav, Bluetooth, rear camera, all that crap, radio. And everything cost me $5,000. So you're talking $150. And then I had to pay to install it. But, installation at the 45,000 baht place was 2,000, and I'll find a cheaper place. The thing about having a Thai girlfriend is they know where to get shit done at the Thai price, and that makes all the difference in the world. So I'll get that whole thing done for $7,000, now that I paid $5,000 for all the radio shit. So that will upgrade the Beamer, give it Navi, so I don't have to use my phone. After lunch today I'm doing Burger Madness at Gecko Garden. I'll do a video on that. Burger review, Gecko Garden. 129 baht every Tuesday for burgers. I've been going there since March, and I'm going to do a review of it today. Look for that video. And after that, I'm going to go buy new tires and put on the 17-inch silver rims. And then I'll do a video on the Beamer with the silver rims, and I'll show a picture of it, what it looks like now with the black rims, and see if you agree it looks better with the silver alloy 17 inches instead of the black 18 inches. That's it for today, guys. That's what's on tap: burgers and BMWs. Have a good one.